gentlemen, welcome to the Tech Disruptors brand new opening track. Moving forward here, I had to freshen up the largely New Year's track that we picked on, I think, December last year. So
I was bobbing my head to that. That was pretty good. Yeah, I like that.
I like it. Hey, Jimmy Fire Dragon in the chat, just jumping in saying hi. How's it going, buddy?
All right.
Nice to see you. And yeah, we're live. The Tech Disruptors. My name is Darren, and this lovely gentleman is
Jason.
And we are here to bring you your weekly tech news, stories, reviews, and everything else in between. Now, there's something we haven't done in a while here, Jason. I know it's been a while since we've frequented the eBay. And a regular segment that we've done in the past is we like to pull up the crazy categories on eBay to do a little bit of online shopping / browsing, if you will. So, Jason, I'm going to actually let you pick today. So I'm going to scroll through these categories, and you let me know which one you think might be interesting.
Out of all these on the screen right now?
I know, right? So
wow.
I was drawn today to collectibles, but I'm going to let
let's focus on collectibles. Let's narrow it down a little bit. That's a lot of words.
Let's have a look. I'll pull up the closer categories.
Here we go.
Okay.
Ooh.
So you have on the left here, I don't know if you can see, you've got everything from advertising, arcade, banks, registers, and vending machines, breweryana and beer, historic memorabilia.
Wow.
Phone cards, photographic images.
Ooh, let's do photographic images. This should be interesting.
Photographic images, okay. So let's see what comes up on this one. I apologize in advance if you see something you're not supposed to see. All right, so I'm going to start with the second one here. Oh, that's
not an image. Oh, it's a photo.
That's not an image. That's just a photo. It's a sexy, busty Asian tattooed fashion model. Actually, but why is that such a variation in price there? Let's take a look at this. Hang on a second.
What? Asian tattooed fashion model. Oh, probably by size.
But yes,
4x6, 8x10. What the
24 by 36. Forgive me if I'm wrong. That's quite large, no, for a photograph. Oh, weird.
Especially if someone like, who the hell is going to want that picture? That's my question.
So this is, I want to just read the description here. Discover the dynamic allure of Hien Honeybee.
Oh my God.
I'm assuming that's the model's name. Now, this kind of caught my attention. You get a dramatic 24 by 36 poster print on satin.
Ooh.
I mean, like
satin finish, so it's like a matte finish.
Oh,
right?
Okay. Oh, yeah. Okay. I was hoping it was printed actually on satin because that would be amazing.
What was her name? What is it? Hien?
Her name was Hien Honeybee. Forgive me if I have no idea thing, but I mean, I'm assuming this is the picture you get, which I mean, sure. But going back, Jason's actually Googling her right now to see.
Well, I want to see if it's like a Hien
AI.
Yeah, that's what
I'm.
There is I am Hien Honeybee on Instagram. I'm not going to click on any of this stuff because I don't really care that much. But she is a real model, supposedly. Maybe it's an AI model. Who knows? But of course, I had to pick this one, didn't I?
I just realized I completely screwed up my name, my website.
It's okay. You're ONME.
On me. Okay.
On me cut reviews. That's
on me cut reviews. Yes.
What is that? Mirror stereoscope MS. What in the? Okay, we're gonna have to. Let's get out of this. Let's get out of this category. Let's close out of this category right now.
Definitely the wrong category. I blame Jason for this one. Let it be known. Actually, now, if I'm being honest, I was looking at the radio, phonograph, and TV and phones, and I wanted to look at the telephones.
Let's not pick photographs, Darren. That was a bad mistake by you.
That was a bad pick. Yes, we should not have picked that one. Close your eyes if you're in the chat. In case you are looking at this secondhand and you're listening on the podcast after the fact.
Jason, if you're listening on the podcast, what we saw was very inappropriate for YouTube, so we may be a little bit of trouble for that one.
But looking at the collectible telephones, now some of this was actually pretty interesting. So you're going to get your classic rotary dial, candle type telephone, vintage stuff. But then if you look at something like this, so this is a European or English wall telephone. And I actually think it's pretty fucking awesome.
But what would you do with it?
Now, I don't know. I mean, I'm thinking this is probably more decorative. like to put on a wall and say, this is the history of, telephony, if you will. But looking down the categories here, I mean, you've got your classic AT&T single business telephone,
Ooh, Saved by the Bell phone. That's what we used to refer to it as.
Now, look at this one. This one's pretty special.
That's the Saved by the Bell phone right there. Sort of.
Pro style cell phone, vintage cellular phone. Now, does it work? That's what I want to know. Because if you're buying this stuff...
Probably not. I mean, I'm not saying it doesn't turn on. I'm saying you probably can't get service on a phone like this at this age.
A cell phone ornament made of iron.
So it's not even a real phone.
No, it's not. It is, I guess, a prop. I guess is probably a good way to put it. A prop phone.
Of course.
Okay. Cool. I don't know why you would need that. Classic 90s VTech cordless phone in ocean blue. What's not to like about that?
I'll be honest. When it comes to retro, this isn't as retro as these we're seeing on the screen. I still want to get my hands on a T-Mobile Sidekick. Both the first one that was monochrome and the new one that's color. There were newer ones that were color, like the first ones. Not when they got more...
Now, would you try to use it?
I don't know if you can. Oh, that's from The Office.
There you go, right? So here is the Telemania wooden mallard duck corded landline. So if you've seen, from The Office, it was used I think in Jersey Shore.
But it wasn't a phone. I don't think there was a phone. It was just a mallard. It was like a wooden mallard. He put like a spy device in it.
Now, this is an actual phone, I believe. Yes, it is.
Oh, my God.
Here. Now, I think Jersey Shore made this phone popular. If you remember the very first season.
Yes.
They had a mallard phone. It used to quack like a duck. But I kind of dig it. I'll be honest with you. It's kind of an interesting.
Well, I got a landline that uses internet, so this actually could still work for me.
It could do. I mean, I know in case of a power failure, most home landlines.
Well, not mine because mine's based on internet. So if the power goes out, I still can't use my.
You're so screwed.
Yeah.
But no, some really interesting things. I mean, there's a vintage 90s Tyrannosaurus Rex dinosaur telephone in box.
Ooh, interesting.
Now, $10. That's a fucking steal.
Do they have a picture of it actually like opening up? Like, what does it look like?
And it's located in Ohio. So there you go.
Where do you see that at?
Right here. Location, Columbus, Ohio.
Hey, that's an hour and a half from me. Let's go get it.
Let's go get it. Now, I want to see the actual, where does the phone?
That's what I was going to ask. There. Oh, my God.
Right,
You got to be kidding me.
Oh, that's kind of cool. So a dial pad hidden in the rock.
Yeah.
Back of the T-Rex is the actual phone. Now, that's pretty fucking awesome.
Oh, what are the batteries for?
I'm assuming to power it. Like maybe when it makes.
I don't remember ever having phones that needed unless it roars or something.
I'm assuming it probably makes a roar sound. That one's pretty awesome. That's pretty good. But yeah, this is actually not a bad category.
I know people that I've seen in the past. They would purchase old payphones.
Yes.
And then I know somebody who actually purchased an old payphone and like refurbished it and actually got it working. That was kind of cool. Yeah, they retroed it to work with their house line, and it was pretty cool.
Yeah. So this one here, this one has batteries too. I don't know. Maybe the batteries.
That's a novelty. That's not a real payphone. That's made it look like one. That's
it's a look. It kind of looks like every standard payphone. But I mean,
correct.
Concept, pretty cool concept.
Cool story. When I was little,
yeah.
We had a payphone outside of my school, and a lot of times we used that to call my parents if we were after school. We had to get picked up. And I remember one time me and my friend were sitting out there waiting, and we went over to it, and the change, when you pull a lever down to get your money back, if something doesn't work right, it kicks the money back down in the little tray. The tray, I opened it, and quarters just started pouring out of it. Like, when I say pour, maybe $10, $15 worth of quarters. So we were like, oh man, my buddy's like, we got to keep this. So I actually put it in a bag, went into the school, and they called the phone company. The phone company told us we can keep it for being good citizens. So we got $7 each.
That's
back in the day. That was probably
$7.
As a kid,
buy you 2 months worth of candy.
Kind of a dumb story, but it was kind of interesting. We don't have payphones anymore. I remember using payphones. We just don't do them anymore.
Well, I know when my grandma went to Poland when she was late in her age yet, but she brought me back a little mini Swiss Army knife.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like tiny little baby size thing, but it had two things on it. It had a knife, and it had, I think it was like a corkscrew opener.
Yeah, pretty common.
So I remember my buddy and I both got one each. My best friend Brody and I both got one each. And I remember we were just experimenting with the corkscrew one day, and we were at a parking pay station where you would put in coins to, make sure that your car doesn't get towed. Right. And I remember, just out of curiosity, I jabbed the corkscrew into the key slot and it unlocked. And it opened up this parking meter that was full of coins. And the better part of me, my conscience said, don't take anything in there. And I didn't. I did close it back up and lock it back up. But just kind of curious, right? Like, these are the kind of things you learn by experimentation. This is what you see.
Yeah, but some kids would have done that and said, I'm going to go through all of these.
Yeah, well, there's that too, right?
And, back in the day, cameras weren't everywhere. Phones weren't recording everything, so you could technically get away with some of the stuff.
Some things.
Nowadays, I don't think you can get away with anything, it seems like.
Now, can we jump into a little bit of AI? Just a little bit. So I actually sent you this article.
I know exactly what you're going to show.
So this was an article on The Sun, and I wish Dan was here today, or one of our UK...
now, with preference, The Sun isn't always one of those publications that's, what's the word, propaganda or 100% honest?
Yes.
But it's fun.
So this,
like The Onion. Have you read The Onion?
Of course, yeah.
It's like The Onion, yeah.
Of course. And I mean, I get it. But this one here was an article that came out today saying that robot romance, women will be having more sex with robots than men by next year, by 2025. And they're saying here, according to a professional, I'll come back to that in a second.
Yeah, we'll see who that professional.
Robot sex will be more common than human intercourse by 2050. So I love the, first of all.
Oh my God, look at that.
I love the imagery. I don't know who created this. I'm hoping it's AI generated. But when I saw the imagery in this article, I fucking laughed out loud. So basically.
The woman's looking at his chest. She's not even looking at his face, probably because he's freaked out.
But anyway, so if you're hearing this secondhand, listeners at home, if you can just imagine like a Terminator-esque robot kind of genuinely caressing a very naked woman with her back to the camera, of course.
But think about it. If you're married and your wife's tired of you, she can be like, hey, honey, my robot's coming over tonight. I need you to go ahead and, go downstairs and sleep in the basement.
Well, that's it. Yeah, of course. Yeah, you can just...
Oh, doctor.
Okay, now...
Oh, my God. Are you kidding me?
Can you please, while I'm going through this for our listeners, can you please Google this person?
Yeah, I'm going to do this because I actually have a doctor's degree in I'm a futurologist as well.
Yes. So
what's his name? Dr. Ian?
Dr. Ian Pearson is a futurologist. What is a futurologist? Can you just give us a definition, Jason, before I fucking...
Well, I'm looking up Dr. Ian Pearson at the moment.
Yes.
And
let me give you a definition.
Ooh, it actually... Amazon, one of the first things is you, tomorrow, the future of humanity, gender, everyday life, careers, belongings, and surroundings. So he's actually an author of a bunch of books. Society Tomorrow.
Okay.
Totality, Sustainability. So they might have just thrown his name in here, and maybe he's a quack. I'm not saying he is, but maybe he is, and that's why they're...
A futurologist, for those of you who were wondering, maybe you're looking for a new career, is a person who does intensive research to develop useful foresight regarding what is probable, possible, and preferable for organizations, people, and the planet based on current trends, likely events, and systems thinking. So to put it simply, this
so it's made up.
Fucking guessing. He's just guessing his way.
Yeah, I made a comment yesterday. I said, I'm a weatherologist, which isn't a real thing. It's a meteorologist, but I always say it as in jest. So it sounds like a futurologist is just
basically
bullshit.
Someone who is guessing what will happen in the future. Listen, if that's the case, I'm going to start putting that on my fucking LinkedIn resume, that I'm a futurologist, because that's basically what we do on the Tech Disruptors podcast.
Yeah.
We predict and talk about the future, and a lot of our predictions have actually come true.
And we've also been shut down because of our future predictions a few times.
Well, listen, what's his name? Ian
Pearson.
Ian Pearson, thank you. He suggested that a woman will soon be getting busy with robots rather than men. According to Ian, we're not that far away from this vision at the moment. So this is the reference point here. He says, vibrators used to be taboo, but now women's magazines are full of chat about them, with Ian suggesting it won't be long before robot sex is more popular with ladies than watching porn.
Wow, that is a stretch. And now let me say, is this going to be the future in 30, 40 years? Maybe. But next year? Come on.
So, okay, listen, I'm just going to throw this out there. He basically, until robots have a vibrator penis, I don't see this being a
I mean, if you scroll up, that woman seems awfully comfortable with that robot.
She does. I mean, that looks largely plastic based, and the robot's face is kind of creepy.
Well, he's probably got a warming sensation, so he kind of warms. So if she's cold, he'll warm her up. It makes sense.
Can you imagine being the model for this photo shoot? Hey, we need you to lie on top of a fake robot.
I honestly don't think this is real at all.
I think it looks a bit AI.
It's either AI, which may be a stretch because a lot of AI doesn't allow you to have humans, but it's that or Photoshop very, very well.
So I've mentioned this show before, and for those of you who are really big fans of TV and streaming, you should check this one out. So a few years ago, the BBC created a short kind of mini-series, if you will, called Humans. And it's set in a not too distant future where human beings are buying lifelike AI human robots.
Huh.
Really,
I'll look that up when we get off.
Maybe I'll even pull up the trailer in just a second.
Is it how long ago was it made, or is it still on?
2018, I think it was.
Okay, so it's a little bit older, but not too bad.
But so basically, in the show, humans are buying these AI robots. But the premise is that the person who created these AI human assistants, these AI robot assistants, accidentally embeds some code in there that allows them to become self-aware. And eventually, as the show progresses, that becomes an issue in the show. But let me see if I can pull up the trailer here. And I promise I'm not going to do what Jason thinks I'm going to do here.
Yeah, at this point, it doesn't matter. I'll just block you.
This is the trailer for Show Anymore.
I've seen a lot of shows similar to that here in the U.S., but not exactly. Like we have that upload where when you dial your brain to consciousness on Amazon Prime, it's uploaded. Yep. There's been a couple shows similar to that. But I'll have to look that up. That looks interesting.
It's honestly probably one of the better shows that over the progression of, I think there was only 3 to 4 seasons, but over the progression of the seasons, it brings up a lot of the issues where we may be facing really soon, which is, what happens when we have these assistants and maybe potentially one day they become aware of their surroundings and who they are. Honestly, really, really great show. I don't know where you would find it. I was streaming that through an Android box, but maybe
it's interesting. The problem with streaming though is kind of killed series that are really good only last 3 to 4 if that seasons. They usually die off pretty quick because everyone has a short expense. Friends or The Office, 9, 10, 12 seasons. MASH. No, I didn't grow up in the MASH era, but these series lasted forever, and you just don't have that anymore. It's really sad. I don't know why I brought that up, but
that's fair. I mean, the thing is, it's hard to find a lot of great TV shows anymore because they just get lost in this kind of endless cycle of, the same kinds of genres. We don't get interesting shows like that because people don't watch them, right? Unless you know about them, nobody knows about them.
There's so much to stream, and people have short attention spans. I'll be honest with you. And this is kind of off topic, but I've been watching. What's that new one on Disney Plus? It's Marvel.
Agatha?
Yeah, I actually really dig it. It's really dark. It's not typical Marvel. DC's usually their movies are real dark and don't do well.
Yeah.
I don't know how well the show's doing, but I actually enjoy that better than the WandaVision one, just because it was so linked to the series. It seems like a totally different kind of show.
You may have seen me post earlier today that our show is actually better than the Joker too.
I mean, that's makes a lot of sense.
I mean,
and here in the U.S., I mean, yesterday was Saturday, which is a big college football here.
Yes,
and our show is definitely better than the Michigan-Washington game because Michigan lost.
Yes.
Definitely better than the USC-Nebraska game because USC lost. And definitely better than Alabama and Vanderbilt. Whew, I had to think about that for a second because Alabama got beat. And this morning, today, as a Browns fan, definitely better than that game because it's You have this little ticker down here. The Browns are actually losing pretty bad. So,
well, listen.
Watch us instead.
I'm going to be honest with you. There's a reason we've shifted times, right, to Sunday. Now, I know that as football the season goes on, I know. Yeah,
football's big here in the U.S. Yes, correct.
Yes, yes. I mean,
American football.
I know American football. We don't have a team in Toronto. We've tried to steal Buffalo a number of times, but it didn't.
I'm surprised by that because you have an NBA team and an MLB team.
Yeah, I know. I don't know. I remember like maybe 5 years ago, they were really close to securing Buffalo because Buffalo was having trouble with getting audiences, getting
the
crowd.
Small market.
Funding. It is. I mean, the problem is, I think, with American teams, like the thought of traveling, 1 hour north of New York is
I'll be honest
too
with
much
you.
about travel.
The NFL is going to Spain, Europe, and they're trying to get countries to join. Like they're trying to get teams overseas. Canada's not that far. I think you should start with Mexico and Canada since they're right there. But
that's what I'm saying, right? But anyway, so let me ask you a question. So you may have heard of this company, Apple. They released a phone last couple of weeks, and you have the iPhone 16 Pro Max, I believe, right?
I do, but right now I just have this.
Yeah. Yes.
My 16 is upstairs. My 16 Pro Max. Yeah.
So let me ask you a question. How are you finding the new device, even though it didn't come out with AI features?
Okay, so hardware-wise, it feels very similar.
Yeah,
I have the white version, and the first thing I noticed when I unboxed it was the camera lens, like the glass around the camera was clear, which was a really nice touch, but it's something minor.
Yeah.
The screen is a little bit bigger because the bezels are smaller, which is a big feat, I know, technologically, speaking, but it's just another iPhone. So I've had some issues with no phone's perfect, but touchscreen issues. I got the update. Hopefully it's better now. Okay. But I'm not really that impressed. I mean, it's a fast device. It's good. It's smooth, but like the Pixel device is different, as in the software seems very similar, just like Apple. Yeah. But the design changed, and it feels like a much more premium phone, even though it probably isn't more than last year's. Yeah. But this one feels just like every other phone. It feels slimmer, but I think it's that Pitaka case that you.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, you're not used to.
It makes it feel. I'm used to those basic clear TPU cases just so I can show off the color, but it's white. I mean, it's not like a special color. I don't know. It's an iPhone. I think they should have waited.
Yes.
Or had AI ready, or didn't even talk about it till next year until it was perfected. I think they're just trying to jump in there because of everyone else. And now I'm sure you're going to be jumping into Apple and OpenAI and how they're going to be releasing AI, Apple Intelligence here very shortly.
So that actually brings us to what I was going to bring up. So I know a lot of people who bought the iPhone 16 Pro Max are a little bit disappointed because they actually said it didn't launch with 90% of the features.
Well, it's not just that. If you've read, the Apple 16 series is not selling very well.
No, not at all. So in fact, it's funny that you say that because I've been just kind of like perusing through YouTube the last couple of weeks, actually just this week. And I've seen a remarkable amount of I'm returning the iPhone 16 videos. That's the first time ever I think I've ever seen that on YouTube, like just people returning. Which again, I mean, I get it. I mean, it's very similar to last year's generation. It is an iterative update, largely speaking, an S series update if we want to go back in time and thing. But you're also buying a phone that is exactly the same as last year, apart from a few different camera hardware.
Yeah, but if you had the 15 Pro Max, you're going to be able to use Apple Intelligence.
Well, that's what I'm saying. So,
and the other issue I have with this is, why can't the 14 or 13 use it? Oh, because it doesn't have 8 gigs of RAM. Bull crap. That's bull crap. It's to make people who are before the 15 upgrade. That's exactly what it is.
So here is my thing, right? So this article came out today on Engadget saying that some of the Apple Intelligence features are expected to arrive on October 28. Now, here's my question. Why didn't they just wait to release the phone October 28 then? Well, like, why?
I would rather see, because they're on a schedule every year, and I've never worked for a cell phone company, but I've had friends who've worked for like T-Mobile, Sprint. It's called churn, and companies make money off people doing that yearly or biannually or two times, every 2 years, the upgrades, because it keeps you locked into their services. That's why they're doing it. And that's why Apple sells well, because they're in every carrier. But I think it's the flip. I believe the other side. I think they should have had the 16 Pro if they wanted, but just not mention anything about AI at all. Yeah. And then wait till the 17 to have it fully. Apple's been notorious for letting things go 3 or 4 years before they put it on their system, and it always worked out in their benefit. But do you notice a trend with Apple? This issue, the Vision Pro, I think they're just, the problem is most companies, when they get to be $1 trillion company, they rest on the laurels. I mean, I don't think Apple is the same company they used to be. Now, I'm not saying they're worse than Pixel or Google or whatever else. I just think they're kind of losing their edge, innovation-wise.
Exactly. And look, I mean, at the end of the day, like they release this at the end of September, waiting one more month would not have made a big
True. And they wouldn't have to retool everything. I get it.
Exactly.
But here's the problem. You said wait till October 28th. That's just some of the stuff they're releasing. And I guarantee it's the very basic crap that no one cares about.
No, but see, here's what I'm getting at. If they had released on October 28th and had come out with some AI features with some to come, I do feel like that would be an easier...
Kind of like what Google did. Like Pixel drops. If Apple would jump on like Apple drops, they could say, hey, look, here's our new iPhone 16 Pro Max. Here are AI features right now. But in 3 months, we're going to release X, Y, Z. And next 3 months, X... Google's doing it right. They know that the stuff is coming and they're working on it, but they're dropping it as drops. Like, hey, you keep this phone, it's going to get refreshed every 6 months or whatever with new technology, new software updates.
I mean, I understand that Apple consumers will buy. They will buy no matter what. If you're you're going to buy. And I get that. I understand that. I don't think the hardware this year was worth buying. I think a lot of people are buying because they think they need to have the 16 to use the Apple AI features. But if you have last year's phone, you will get them too. Now, are you getting a big dramatic increase in, how awesome your iPhone's going to be? Slimmer bezels,
not really.
Bigger, slightly bigger. I mean, it's not.
And if you read the camera reviews, some people are saying it's actually slid backwards a little bit.
Yeah.
But
so I forget
when it comes to but cameras are different. You know that.
Yes.
We if you look at Phone Arena, I think Phone Arena from last week, we didn't get to talk about it. Phone Arena actually said it was lower than most phones that they thought. It wasn't as good. But DxO is like, oh, it's better than the Pixel. That's why people don't like DxO. Yeah. I prefer the colder picture of the Pixel over the warmer colors of the iPhone. Does that mean iPhone's worse? No, it's just it's up to the the person who's taking the pictures.
A lot of people have been complaining about the 5X because I don't remember hearing that last year. Like I don't remember hearing that with the 15 series.
It's a new sensor, isn't it? Isn't that the 48X or whatever? I thought it was a new sensor. No,
I believe it's the same as what it was last year. I think the ultra wide is upgraded, but
that's what it was. Yeah.
So. I mean, it's interesting. I don't know like what's going on at Apple. There's a lot of people are not happy. I mean, so they're saying here October 28th with the release of 18.1, you're going to see features like text editor, summarization, writing tools, smart audio recording, transcription, the whole lot, right? Maybe some object photo things.
Yeah, but that's all basic stuff. But you're right. Even though it seems basic to us as Pixel users or Samsung users, they could have waited a month.
Yeah. But so here is what I'd say. I almost feel like Apple is going to drop the ChatGPT integration and the Genmoji stuff at the end of the year. And it might be a big mic drop moment for Apple. If they're...
why is that a big mic drop? Because they're dropping them? Because you think they're working on their own stuff?
No, I think that their integration with whether it's ChatGPT or whoever they're working with, we don't know anymore. But whoever they're working with their AI stuff, imagine that they come out of the gate in December and it's better than Gemini. Like, what happens then?
Okay, like we can play this game both ways.
We can, yeah.
Google are they the most advanced AI? I mean, most well put together and most widely advertised, probably. Yeah. OpenAI is constantly churning. I could see Apple using OpenAI right now till they get their feet set. It's kind of like with Google Maps.
Yeah.
Google Maps been doing it for years. Apple went out and said, "Oh, we want Apple Maps. We're going to go buy TomTom."
Yeah.
If Apple can't buy ChatGPT or OpenAI,
Yeah.
they will do something. They will produce theirs, and when it's ready, they'll cut ties with OpenAI and use their own. I'm not worried about Apple surpassing, because what I've seen in the last few years, they're not just AI, just in general, everything seems to be lacking. Now, I'm not saying Apple's terrible. I mean, they're making good money.
Yeah.
They make good phones. They're quality. It's just innovation-wise, I just don't.
So, like, if we count up for a second here, like, let's count up. They've had, if we consider the iPhone 16 series a fail, let's just hypothetically for a second.
Okay.
That would be 2 major product releases that have bombed for Apple this year. The Vision Pro.
Yeah.
And potentially the iPhone 16, well, some of the iPhone 16 lineup. Let's just
now we're in the tech community, so I think general public don't really care. They're seeing Apple 16 Pro Max is the best Apple thus far, whatever.
Yeah.
For us, we see the Vision Pro, and that's why Meta just announced Orion. Now I know you had some skepticism with Orion. I think they're amazing. I think it's the closest thing we can get right now to what Apple wants, and Apple's far behind. So if you saw the articles after that Orion thing and the Vision Pro, they said Apple's going back to the drawing board and trying different things. And that's how competition should work.
Yes.
Meta just doing that, obviously they want to show off what they've been doing. But they're pushing every other... Whatever happened to Samsung's XR glasses? What happened to those?
Oh, yeah.
You know why? They're waiting. They're sitting back. They're perfecting it. And hopefully it'll be better.
Well, speaking of Samsung... I don't know if you caught this article earlier in the week. So Samsung...
But this is older phones, right?
Yeah, but I mean, but this is, they might be older phones, but Samsung hasn't had a fun week either. So
hell no.
Oh, we've got Joe just jumping in here. Let me just...
Oh, Joe just jumped in.
There he is. Here's the man.
Who's this guy?
How are you doing, Joe?
I don't know if he can hear us.
I don't know if he can hear us. Maybe he can. Possibly.
Can you hear us? Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
Oh, I heard that.
We can see you, Joe, but we'll come back to you, buddy. Anyway, so a botched Samsung update has bricked older Galaxy phones.
Yes,
and
I heard
quite
this.
literally forcing people to do a complete factory reset and losing all of their data. Right? So basically, now, okay, this is going back a couple of years here. So it's the S10, Note 10, Galaxy M51, A9.
And I'll be honest, in the Android world, how many people are still rocking a Note 10 and an S10?
I'm going to be honest with you. I would fucking love to.
Who was that?
I don't know what is going on here.
Joe, I can't see him moving. Oh.
Hang on, I'm going to pull him back in. I think Joe's frozen. I don't know what is going on here today. There's too many people. Hang on. We got one Joe and then second Joe.
There we go. We can see him now and he is moving.
How's it going, Joe? No sound. We cannot hear you, Joe.
No sound at all.
Joe's having some technical difficulties today.
That's okay.
If we can get him back.
It's all right.
But anyway.
We'll figure it out.
So basically, update rolls out October 2nd, promising new features, and all of a sudden, people's phones started bricking. Now, I'm going to be
I heard that.
Okay. That's working.
There he is.
There you go, Joe.
How you doing, guys?
Good.
We're just talking about Samsung ruining...
No, we talked about Apple ruining everything. Now Samsung's ruining everything.
Now Samsung.
They're both ruining everything.
That's exactly right.
I know, right? Now, anyway, like Jason said, I mean, we don't know how many people are still rocking an S10 or Note 10 series. But the fact of the matter is, if they said they're going to support it, and then a firmware update completely destroys a phone, causing you to factory reset, there are a lot of people that are not going to be happy about this. You're losing all of your data, and on a phone that's what?
Yeah, but if you think about it, if you have a phone that old, maybe a factory reset's what you need to get it running better.
It was forced by Samsung. Yes.
Yeah, but you don't want to do it without backing up, do you?
Well,
it depends.
That's the issue, right?
Well, I can't speak for Joe, but I know I have multiple phones, and I replace phones like every two. It seems like I have a lot of phones, so I'm used to starting fresh, installing, going through the whole process. It's a pain in the ass, and if someone doesn't do that, yeah, that could be a pain.
which sadly people don't. The amount of
And that's
people,
exactly right.
customers I have, right, I look on their phone, they haven't got Google Backup on. Like, that's the basic, right? You should have that on.
Really?
Yeah, they don't have it on. I turn it on for them. It's just mad.
That's crazy to me.
But we're tech guys, though, right?
Yeah,
The average person don't turn this shit on.
Yeah. Yeah, you're 100% right there. That would
And
make the
it's-
process much easier.
It would. It
would.
would. I mean,
I will tell you
at
this,
least
when you-
Google Photos.
Like when you buy a new phone, I don't have a new iPhone all the time. I've had the 15 Pro, now I have the 16 Pro. But when we went from the 8 Pro Pixel to the 9, like that transition, where it's seamless. Like Google has gotten a hell of a lot better with that. Like in the past, it was, you log in and you have to kind of do, but like text messages come through. The one thing I'm not a big fan of the 16 Pro is I want RCS. And the carrier that I have that 16 Pro Max on still does not support RCS.
Right.
But my work iPhone does.
Carriers a bit slow for it, aren't they? It's coming.
Yeah, the main ones do. It's the MVNOs, like the smaller companies like Mint and Boost and whoever else is out there. So here in the U.S. at least, everyone uses WhatsApp or Telegram or whatever.
Yeah.
Anyway, so yeah.
Well, one day we can only dream. We can only hope. Now, speaking of botched hardware, there was an article that came out this week, and when I read this, I actually felt bad.
No,
for
you
this
didn't.
guy. No, I did. So I'm gonna just pull this up. So,
Oh man. Yeah, I see what you're saying.
Okay, so there is a guy named Michael Strait. Now, he was a former jockey, fell off his horse, was left paralyzed from the waist down. And about 4 years ago, I believe they gave him one of these exoskeletons, which allowed him to essentially move in an
Which is
upright-
amazing.
Which is amazing. And for the last 4 years, he has been using this very happily until this week. So basically, this is the most ridiculous reason why. So, okay, let me explain how this works. So the exoskeleton is controlled by a watch that he wears on his wrist, if that makes sense.
Okay.
Wow.
That's
The
impressive.
battery in the watch died. Which
In the
meant that-
watch.
In the watch, right? It wouldn't work anymore. The company said, we don't support the battery in the watch being replaced anymore, which renders his $100,000 exoskeleton completely useless because he can no longer use it.
Seems like
And
a good
he's-
idea.
And he's basically claiming that they're trying to force him to upgrade to a better exoskeleton. Now, I don't know about you, but $100,000 is not a pretty penny. For a guy like
Now,
this,
hold on, Darren. It could be a lot worse. Do you remember when the Note 7 was exploding? At least
True,
his watch
that's
didn't
true, yeah.
explode. And do you remember, I think it was Mr. Who's the Boss, some of his older Samsung phones were expanding? I mean,
yes.
my question
Yeah,
is, what kind of battery is it? Can he pop the back off and do it himself? Or is it one of those things where it's pretty complicated?
I don't think it's a CR2032 circular battery. I thought about that because I would have just sent him one.
Surely someone can help this dude out, though. You know,
Correct.
Like, it can't be that.
Apparently, it's a proprietary thing. So apparently, the company is the only one that can replace the battery
Of
because it's
course.
somehow connected to the exoskeleton. It's just something to do with the wiring. I don't understand.
Who does that sound like?
Mm.
Yeah, I know, right? Who does that sound like? Yeah. Now,
Is that a
so
sister
basically-
company?
A sister company, yes. So this company he's been all over social media this week, just ripping into the company Rewalk, which is the company that sold him the exoskeleton. Now, he's been using this since 2014. So
It's old.
It's old.
Yeah.
But again, I think the whole concept of an exoskeleton is unlike a smartphone. This should last for as long as you need it to. Right? I mean, this is how
I mean, 10 years is a long time. I mean, how many phone batteries would last 10 years?
Well, I understand that, but
But the warranty
not
is the
replace
issue.
The battery?
Yeah,
And to not
exactly.
replace the battery. I mean, come on.
A $20 battery?
Yeah, it's a 20.
Can they not replace the watch?
Oh, they can replace it. They don't want to. It sounds like
Yeah.
they're pushing him to upgrade. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think
So-
he's onto something there.
He posted this on social media. I don't know if you guys can read this, but he says, bad news. After 371,000 steps in his exoskeleton, it has stopped. The reason it has stopped is because it's a pathetic excuse for a bad company to try and make more money. The battery in the watch I wear to operate the machine has stopped working. They've stopped supporting machines that are 5 years or older. So this company who makes exoskeletons is basically saying, if it's more than 5 years old, it's called a you problem, not an us problem. Which I think
so the company should do two things: either fix this problem, or offer a very big discount for a guy who's been using it for 10 years. Like, hey, like we'll give you half off. I mean, $100,000 is a lot of money. It's probably $500,000 now.
Yeah.
So are you saying what's the trading value for his current exoskeleton?
Yeah, trade it in, and hey, why not?
Yeah.
So, I mean, look, this company here, I don't even know if that's the one I was looking at. Hang on a second.
Rewalk. Yeah.
Rewalk. I think that's it. I think they go by a different name now, but anyway.
I was going to go with iWalk, but that was too obvious.
Yeah. So basically,
sister company, right.
The company spokesperson has come out and said, "We're going to try and we're trying to resolve the issue."
Oh, sure they are.
And basically, he's saying,
wait. When they said they were going to try to resolve the issue, is this after he bashed them on social media?
Yes,
of course.
Yeah. So basically, they're trying to say here, from what I understand, that because these exoskeletons are somewhat covered under Medicare, like I'm assuming his health insurance.
Is this a U.S. thing?
I don't know. I think so. Yes, I believe it might be.
Because that would make sense with Medicare. Yeah.
Yeah. He might be available for a reimbursement of some of a new exoskeleton. So basically, the company's holding fast. They're saying if you want to walk again, bro, buy a new exoskeleton.
Yeah, but the price is probably 3 or 4 times more expensive.
That's exactly what I'm saying, right? Like this guy spent $100K.
With that being said, I would imagine, so if you buy an iPhone every year, we just talked about it, not much different. But if you buy an iPhone every 10 years, it's probably a significant...
Massive, yeah.
Yeah, so again, it's like a catch-22. It's like, yeah, I understand the company. They got to make money. They got to stay, relevant. And I'm sure in 10 years, that exoskeleton's a hell of a lot better, has better battery life, better app, all that stuff. But on the flip side, this guy he's paralyzed. He needs the assistance. It's like, what...
I'm also pretty sure they made a good profit off that 100K.
Oh, of course, right?
They made about $10. Yeah, you're right.
Yes. The research for the rest of us, but yeah. So I mean, look.
How much would $100,000 be in Canada? Like what? $60 million?
Of course, basically. Yeah. About 8 times the amount. But now again, this is just an art, but it brings up a bigger issue, right? And the bigger issue I'm getting at here is that. Is it okay for a company like the previous article with Samsung we just saw to essentially tank the device you're using and basically say, not our problem?
Wasn't Apple, guilty of this with batteries and slowing down the process because of battery health?
We've seen this happen before, right? And Apple's been taken to court and have lost.
Here's the problem. Right? Technology is so saturated, that everything, phones, I mean, maybe not his, the exoskeleton market, maybe not be, but
yeah,
I think you got to look at it as these companies want to make money, and it's a business. Everyone thinks that Samsung, OnePlus, Google, Apple, they care about us. They do to a certain extent because they want our money, but they don't really care about us. They want you to upgrade every year, and people aren't. That's why carriers here in the U.S. are doing 3-year programs now for their phones. 3 years.
That and the cost of the devices you need to pay over 3 years.
Well, yeah. Well, now they're doing this thing where if you pay $6 or $10 more a month, they'll let you upgrade every year.
It's still $6 a month. Like it's still.
I know, but $10 more a month is huge. If you get a family of 4 and you're all leasing your devices, you're paying $30 a month for all these 4 devices. You're paying $500 a month for a damn phone bill.
Yeah.
I mean,
plus
someone's
insurance.
making money off it.
Plus
insurance.
If you do insurance, I never.
If you do it, that's it.
I am my insurance.
You are the insurance, yeah.
Yes.
Now, we have to just take a little bit of a somber moment here because speaking of big tech companies, one big tech company has killed off arguably one of the first companies in this space. So earlier this week, Microsoft has killed off
I know.
HoloLens 2.
Can I tell you something? I read this article, and the first thing I did was, I need to find one.
Yes. Google.
Because they're going to be clearance like no other.
Yeah. Now, Microsoft was one of the first companies to kind of pioneer, I guess, the AR.
Let me ask you something. Looking at that picture right there, I'm not sure which version that is. Is that better than the Vision Pro looking? Or is that worse than the Vision Pro?
I don't know.
I'd say better.
Question.
I'd say better too. I think Microsoft had the upper hand on this one.
Well, so, I mean, they've basically come out and said, look, we're going to start making ours more enterprise, these headsets more enterprise.
Like Google Glass.
Like Google Glass, yeah. Which, I mean, sure. But they've killed it off. The HoloLens is gone. I think it's, we're going to put that in, the tech disruptors, tech cemetery as one of the products that...
There's quite a lot in the Microsoft...
It is, yeah.
We have about Google's graveyard, but Microsoft has a pretty big graveyard too. That's a good point, Joe. I didn't think about that. Yeah.
Comparably to Google's probably about the same.
But I think the difference between Google, yes. The difference between Google and Microsoft is Google's more of a hardware. They kill like apps like Google Circles or not Circles. What was their social media? Google Plus or whatever, which I loved. But they do more. They do more of their software. What? Microsoft kills off all their hardware.
Do you know what? Do you remember when Google made a Gmail competitor called Inbox?
Yes.
Did they?
Inbox was fucking
amazing. Inbox was pretty damn good. Yeah, it was.
I didn't know about this one.
Yeah, so they had a Gmail competitor called Inbox. It was released, I want to say,
2016? Ooh, I was thinking like 16, yeah.
Yeah.
Now I'm going to look it up.
Largely speaking, way better than Gmail was and way more efficient than Gmail was at the time. I think at the end they ended up ending them together. But you might be able to find the APK somewhere out in,
Probably wouldn't recommend it though.
No.
I don't know if it works anymore. But again, a company's killing this shit off, man. Like, this is what happens. Google killing off apps, Microsoft killing off hardware. Like, fucking bring back the Duo. Bring back the Duo. It's time.
They are. Google supposedly, in that article, says they're working on dual screen devices. Now, I don't know if it's going to be like a folding device like we have now. Like Joe, you and your guys on Nomad, the Duo with the split, I think that's a better, for me, longevity-wise, is a better proposition because you're not bending a screen and ruining it. Yeah, now, that's the first one, right? That's the second one, right?
Yeah, that's the first one.
I'm still looking for the Duo 2. I'd still buy one.
I've been trying to find one cheap online, too. It's not easy.
I paid 200 quid for this ages ago now.
Do you remember when AT&T liquidated all of them? They were locked to AT&T. I bought for like $200, the original one. It was amazing.
Nice.
So it looks like Google's Inbox app was shut down in March of 2019.
Fuck. Good times, man. Good times. It was beautiful. Joe, can I ask you, are you planning on getting your hands on the Mate XT that everyone's been talking about?
No, I'm not going to pay out for that, I'm afraid.
That's a tri-folding device?
Yes.
Would I like to have hands on? Yes, but I'm not going to pay out for that.
Look, Joe, if you sell one of your kidneys, you might be able to afford one.
So, the Mate XT, I'm going to try and find a decent looking picture of it.
They're like $5,000.
Have you seen the... a lot of people are having issues though at the moment. I don't know. The Scary If Literal covered it recently.
And that's why I wouldn't import it, because I would have no warranty.
Exactly. That's what you're paying that amount of money. It's a bit of a risk.
Oh yeah. And
I can't find a decent photo, but I'm just going to pull this one up.
It's a beautiful device. Like, this is what we need for innovation, though. Are they going to succeed?
Why we want to send us all one each?
Yeah,
we'll take
four.
I used to have such a good connection at Huawei when they had their operations out of Canada. We were friends, man. I got some good shit from Huawei. When they had Google services, that was. But now, unfortunately, you Americans, we had them banned, and then Canada followed suit. So, Joe.
Hey! Don't say you Americans. I have no say. I am not the government.
Have you guys realised that they call it a tri-fold, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But a normal fold's called a fold because there's one fold.
Yeah.
This is actually a dual fold. There's two folds.
That's correct. Yes.
It's not
you got a point. You know what? We need to talk. You know what? That's why America banned Huawei, because they can't count.
They can't count. Yeah, 1, 2. Yeah, that's free.
Yeah. Now, speaking of companies that are innovating, we've talked about Meta a fair bit the last couple of weeks here on the Tech.
Hold on, before you mention Meta.
Yeah.
I have to talk about this. Are you guys tablet guys?
I am, yeah.
So I have the OnePlus Pad 2.
Nice.
It's the Snapdragon Gen 3.
Yes.
Beautiful device, 10.9 inch or something. So I've been a big fan of Red Magic in the past. They're gaming centric. Nubia, I think, owns them.
Yeah, Nubia, yeah.
So they have a gaming centric tablet coming out, 10.9 inches, with the Snapdragon Gen 3 leading version, which is in Samsung devices.
Yeah.
It's a tablet, but it looks like their phone. It has a fan. So my biggest issue with the phones were they were amazing, but they were terrible cameras. Well, who the hell takes pictures with their tablets? No one does.
Exactly, yeah,
So
yeah.
I think the proposition for the tablet's better for them because it's got the leading version of the Gen 3. It looks really cool, and it's like $500 starting,
It'll be
which is still a lot
overclocked
of money.
as well.
What was that?
It'll be overclocked. It'll perform like...
It'll be overclocked, and you can still connect it to a TV and have like the console mode, so you can actually utilize it as with a wireless controller and play, your retro games. Call of Duty.
I kind of like the look. I do kind of like their look.
It's not bad, but that's the problem with the phone. The phone was so divisive. It was a gaming centric. People were like, which I love the devices. The biggest issue with Red Magic is software. They don't. They offered a lot of updates within the first 6 months to a year. Then after that, it kind of died off. But I think this for $499
milliamp battery.
What was that? Oh yeah,
battery. Jesus Christ.
Well, you gotta remember with the leading version. So what Red Magic does is they have a gaming mode. So when you swipe in from the side when you're playing a game, you can change the dynamics of the CPU, and they have a thing called, I think it was Diablo mode, which maxed out everything. So it burned through battery on the phone. I think if they offered a keyboard and a stylus, which I don't know if they do. I don't think they do. This device would be.
It's nice.
I know Samsung released the S10, but they're using MediaTek, which is fine. But this right here, I don't know. Between that and the OnePlus, I think they're very close.
4.0.
Yeah, it's a mean looking device, and I think it goes on sale officially the 10th of October. Here in the US, I think it was starting at $499 for like 12 gigs of RAM, I think. But they go up to 60, or was it 24 gigs of RAM or something with a terabyte of storage for like $799?
8K display too, eh?
2.8K.
40 hertz
It's a good-
sample rate?
Yeah, it's got 144 hertz refresh rate.
Wow.
Which the problem with that is it's a number because most Android games don't even go to 120 hertz. Like
550
I think
nits.
Call of Duty. What was
Not
that?
bad for a tablet. 550 nits. Not bad for a tab.
I think $500 is a sweet spot for most tablets. It's more expensive than an iPad, but it offers things that the iPad doesn't. At least the generic, bottom of the barrel one does.
3
Heat
layers.
dissipation. 9 layers.
Well, you think about it. With a tablet, you have a lot more surface area, so heat dissipation is probably much easier in a tablet than it would be in a phone.
Fast charging? That's
How many tablets do you know do 80-watt fast
what's
charging?
fast charging? Yeah. It's
I don't know.
impressive. It's $599. So and it's apparently coming
Well, that's Canadian, right?
Well, $499 Canadian. So I don't know. You guys are gonna get it for $200 basically. I mean,
I get it for free. I don't know. I'm just kidding.
yeah, impressive. Looks
I
good.
think it's a decent device. I mean, I'm not a huge tablet guy, but I think that my tablet is a good device for me. I do some editing on tablets. Most time it's on a computer, but like when I'm in a hurry and I'm doing something quick, I jump on my tablet and I use whatever app's available. And I think with the 8 Gen 3 leading, I don't think any other tablet uses that device, that chipset.
I've not got a laptop or desktop at the moment, so a tablet's my big screen.
So what are you using right now to stream?
S24 Ultra is. I'll just trust this camera. Yeah.
It looks really damn good.
Yeah, no, it's very, very good. Yeah,
Sounds good too.
I've got my mic though here.
Yeah, but the fact you could do that with your mobile. That's what's
and
cool.
an Anchor hub.
Nice.
Oh, yeah, there you go.
An Anchor hub. So yeah, I am very mobile.
There you go. Now, just to wrap up, final story of the day. Meta.
Oh no.
Now, we've talked about Sora before, which was the AI video generating thing. But I wanted to just quickly talk about Meta's released their Movie Gen, which is an AI-powered video generator. Now, I'm going to show you a little bit.
Before you show any clips,
yes.
Me and Darren are working on a Tech Disruptors movie using Meta's Movie Gen.
Can I be?
It's going to be AAA, action-packed, explosions everywhere, and of course, top-notch acting.
So. Yes.
Can I be an extra?
Well, you'll be AI generated, but
absolutely can.
Thanks, man.
Now, really quickly, let me just show you a clip. This is a promotional clip they released right here for the Meta.
This is crazy.
I'll be the guy that dies in the first scene, right?
Yeah. No.
Crazy.
Okay, that looks a hell of a lot better than the preview for Sora.
Yes, absolutely.
And this is why I tell you guys, like, there's an article we didn't get to last week. I believe, now this is just me, don't come at me with pitchforks. I really think that Meta is more innovative than Apple right now. With AI, VR, XR, AR, I think that Mark Zuckerberg call him what he wants. He invested billions when people told him to stop. Well, I think he's doing it right.
Yeah.
I mean, Tim Cook is he's not an innovator. He's a business guy.
Yes.
Like,
Mark Zuckerberg is a visionary. He is the guy who says, here's what I want. You guys make it where users can buy it.
I heard the Ray-Ban deal's been extended to 2030 now.
Why not? Those Ray-Bans they have now
plans to go with, and I think that's the right way to go. That form factor. Let's see. I think you're right though. Meta are doing good things.
That Ray-Ban. Speaking of those Ray-Bans, I bought a pair and I had to return them because I went to my eye doctor and I had prescriptions and they said you can put them in there, but they called I guess my eye doctor called where they get them made and they said, well, the only way we can get them. His prescriptions put in there is if he bought them directly from Ray-Ban. So I bought them from Amazon, brand new. So I had to return them to Amazon, and so it's been a disaster.
They couldn't accommodate that. That's weird.
Yeah, because it wasn't from me, so they were scared if I bought them secondhand or even though I had proof I bought them. It doesn't matter. I want to try them because I like having cameras in my lenses with kids. You know, nice is to be able to snap pictures and just
definitely
record
capture
video
moments.
without. Yes,
absolutely. Now, just final thing. I don't know if you guys caught this article, but have you heard about the two university students who hacked the Meta glasses?
No, I want to hear about this.
What?
What did they do?
Yeah, I want. Oh God, do I want to know?
So, two students from a university in the States. So basically,
I'm telling you, America, they're always the trouble. They're always causing trouble. Yeah. I swear.
But anyway, so they use the cameras that are in the Meta glasses, and they were taking photographs of people's faces, running them through their proprietary face recognition software, and were pulling information from social media to be able to essentially find out all about these people that are around.
Yeah.
them.
Speaking of that, Joe and Darren, look right at your camera right now. I got to take a picture real quick.
So there's a little video here. I'll just play it for you really quickly.
This is crazy.
Process that let you identify anybody on the street. The information our tool collects from just a photo of your face is staggering.
Oh no, I did see this. Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't realize it was the Meta glasses he was using.
To use it, you just put the glasses on. Then, as you walk by people, the glasses will detect when somebody's face is in frame. This photo is used to analyze them, and after a few seconds, their personal information pops up on your phone.
Right? This is me volunteering.
June Lee, right?
Yeah.
It's pretty scary.
This is like from
You're from Bergen County Academy?
I'll be honest with you. This is scary, but also freaking amazing.
Yeah. This is like they try it on a person on the subway here. I don't know if you can catch
It's again instant as well, like on their phone.
On the phone.
That's he. Oh, okay. I think I met you through like the Cambridge Community Foundation, right? Yeah. It's great to meet you.
Oh my God! Did he just look that up?
Oh wait, Do you happen to be the person working on like minority stuff for like Muslims in India at all or something? Yeah. Really?
What the hell?
Oh, I've read your work before. It's super cool. I'm Anfu. Nice to meet you. Oh, I love.
Anthony, get in frame.
Oh, okay. But are you Sarah Chan?
No.
So here's how it works. We stream the video from the glasses straight to Instagram and have a computer program monitor the stream. We use AI to detect when we're looking at someone's face. Then we scour the internet to find more pictures of that person. Finally, we use data sources like online articles and voter registration databases to figure out their name, phone number, home address, and relatives' names. And it's all fed back to an app we wrote on our phone.
Using our glasses, we were able to identify dozens of people, including Harvard students, without them ever even knowing. Here's some of our favorites.
Yeah. So anyway, I won't go into more of that, but
So I'm gonna get these eventually, and I will dox everyone on the stream. No,
Yeah.
just kidding. Joe, you graduated from that really good school, you know.
Well, that's where you're
like
wrong
a
already. I
genius,
didn't
aren't you?
graduate.
Aren't you a genius?
No.
you want to know?
No.
You wanna know what
Damn
the
it.
saddest-
You've met me, man. Come on, I'm no genius.
You want to know what the saddest thing about that article was? So I see the word Jason just mentioned docs.
Yeah.
I had no fucking idea what that word meant.
Oh, you haven't heard that before?
I've never heard of the word.
So
docs or
the
with
reason
my
why I know docs is because my kids are watching YouTube, and there was a chick who was a gaming chick. I'm not gonna mention any names. I don't want to get into it, but apparently she's like very toxic, and some guy like looked her up and doxed her online, basically throwing out her address so people could stalk her, harass her, and that's against the law. Very much against the law. Now, this term of dox is different because they're not, dispersing that information. They're using it to.
No.
But I'm going to contact these guys. I'm going to get these meta glasses, and I'm going to
I would be curious to see if it would.
to see how it works. I don't want to dox people. I just want to see how cool
All
it
right,
is.
Jason, here's your challenge between here and next week. See if you can find them, reach out to them and see if they can take it live. We'll get them, invite them on the podcast.
Yeah.
They'll take a photo of our faces live and let's see what they can find out information. We obviously will censor it a little bit, but
I don't really want to be doxxed online. That's something I don't want to do.
There's your address, this, blah, 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 blah.
I mean,
I mean,
no.
we will beep out some
I
of it.
could secretly be a billionaire and you don't even know. When I don't want people come to my house, asking for money,
Well, listen, that actually brings us to the end of our Tech
Of
Trouble
course
podcast.
it does.
And listen, if you remember the very first story, or one of the very first stories we talked about today, is how women will be sleeping with robots in the future. If you missed that, go back and listen. But Jason,
I was like, what?
Jason
Damn.
has just gone and
Damn it, I
bought
missed that.
his own robot.
I'm actually upgrading myself, so I am a robot for that
Right.
reason.
It's true.
That's why that guy's upset, because he was getting lots of women with that exoskeleton,
Oh yeah, can you imagine? Yeah.
and it just died on him. So it's like,
I'm not gonna be able to use that watch anymore.
That's a good one. I
anyway.
like that.
If you are catching us after the fact, thank you very much. Make sure you hit that like, subscribe button. Check us out on Spotify, Apple Music, Google Podcasts, Amazon Podcasts. And if you would like, Jason will record this podcast on a tape for you and we'll send it through snail mail.
VHS.
VHS. And we are all covering all kinds of tech on the show. So that's kind of where we're at. But thank you very much for Joe for joining us fashionably late. We love having you on.
just a
buddy.
little bit late.
You're welcome anytime.
Yes.
Thanks for having me.
And Jason, always a pleasure. And we will catch you guys on